Hey, BIS 301. Welcome to Module 2 video. Um, I am downtown Phoenix at the ASU Cronkite campus, and also, as well as, let me flip this over, the law school down here. Pretty cool, huh? You know where Taylor Place is. I'm right across the street. And was down here collaborating. Okay, welcome to Module 2. Let me talk about Module 1 for a minute. All the syllabus quizzes that were taken are scored up to this afternoon. Everybody did real well. I mean, you just got to look at the syllabus. If you got something wrong, I deducted 2 points, and nobody did any worse than that. And just look to make sure what it is. I'm not going to give any answers here because there are people that didn't take it yet. Let's see. Got my laptop with me today, so yay, I've got something to look at. All right, so let's see. Let me just talk a little bit about the videos themselves. You know, I do these videos. Sometimes some people could say, well, this is just redundant. You're just going to read the instructions, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me just say that I like to, number one, put a personal touch on the class. You kind of know who's on the other side of this, judge accordingly. Number two, um, I like to, some people respond better to listening kind of the instructions and hearing it than they do reading it. And, you know, there's the visual, there's your linear thinkers, all that stuff. So, and I do like to do it, okay? It feels like I'm connecting to you guys out there, all right? So let's say I really appreciated, you know, those of you that watched the first video and responded with the Easter eggs. I think there was about 40, 45 out of 72, or I think I have 72 now. Would you just stop enrolling? No, 72, I think. I think there's room for a couple more, but they have to get permission. So you guys did great. Hope everybody gets a chance to get those points. A lot of you in your emails to me cracked me up. You say you're looking forward to this class, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know, no, I appreciate you looking forward to this class. Um, you know, sometimes every now and then some people would miss an egg or two. Sorry to be a stickler, but if there's three, I need three. If there's two, you're only going to send me two based on what you hear. I will tell you this much. Typically, there's going to be three unless I forget. Okay, during the video, it happens. All right, now we'll get to number one here pretty quick. Okay, so again, reminder about the due date system. Okay, you'll notice now that you're into the course how we had the discussion board. I think it was due on the 11th. I think the responses are due on the 9th and 11th today, right? And 9th was the post, 11th the responses, and the 13th Sunday is the worksheet, right? Okay, by the way, where I am right now, it's Friday at 1:11, okay? I'm down here thinking about going to law school. Okay, I've thought about it. I'm not. That's dad jokes. Stand back. Okay, so anyhow, let's go with, okay, so the module one scoring. I'm going to do things. I always hate scoring your discussion boards before due dates because then people freak out and go, my God, I just did my post. I did my responses. Responses aren't due yet. I want to save us both the trouble. I'll start scoring discussion boards after the responses are due, meaning sometime tomorrow probably. Okay. Worksheet one, I'll get to that over the weekend. What's in there? Obviously, people will turn them in late. It's fine. Again, don't need the excuse unless it's worthy of excuse. I don't take it personally. What you're saying to me is, hey, Professor Fair, could I buy an extension from you for this paper? I'll give you 5 points for an extra week. Hey, that's what you're doing. You're buying the extension, right? Okay, let's do that. All right, so let's get into module two because I think it's an exciting module to start jumping and diving into. Okay, so you can see what the objectives are. Boy. Now, the readings, Repco Chapter 2 in the text. I left mine at home. I don't want to carry it on the train. Um, you're going to be reading Interdisciplinary Studies, a Matter of Definition. I'm going to get into that in a minute, okay? First, let's talk about the world of cross-functioning teams. It's an article, as I might have mentioned to you, or my face-to-face class, I can't remember. It's slightly outdated. My God, it's 21 years old, I think, but it does, describe this dynamic team of cross-functional teams and how it resonates with what we do as interdisciplinarians, right? So take a look at that. Important. Um, then you're going to have I'm going to get into this. You're going to have this chart, the pyramid, okay? Your sweets and candies go up on top and your fruits and vegetables. No, it's the disciplinary pyramid, not the food pyramid, okay? I guess the writing is backwards. Is that how it's coming out? Okay, we'll go through that in a minute. That has to do with the article you're reading. And then the approaches might look like my retirement community shuffleboard court, but we'll get into that also. Okay, so those are your readings for the class. Now, the discussion board ties into these types of disciplinarity, all right? It's going to be important. The types of disciplinarity, listen closely, okay? This is where you could use the book, but he's got the readings. Let's start off at the base. That's disciplinarity, or disciplines. I mean, history, English, social studies, whatever, discipline, okay? Above that, and again, I'm going to use the pyramid approach. It's not typically a hierarchy in terms of importance, but it is the way we kind of look at this, all right? So this says cross-disciplinary. Again, I can't tell if you're seeing mirror image or not, but okay, so here's your single disciplinary, cross-disciplinary, okay? Cross-disciplinary is analyzing something, seeing something um, through the lens of one discipline from the point of view of another. It's okay. The best explanation I can give you would be analyzing music from the point of view of math. Okay, because music has mathematical concepts in it, of course, things like that. So it's cross-disciplinary. It's like, wait, music could be like, oh, that's music. It's a discipline. Okay, but if you analyze it through discipline of math, you're talking about cross-discipline. Okay, it's something we don't run into often, but you'll find it. And when you find it, I want you to know it when you see it. Okay, that's cross-disciplinary. The next one up is multidisciplinary. This is the biggest confusion to what we're doing here. Okay, because multiple disciplinary is double major, major minor. It's, I'm in a committee. It's me. I do business. And there's a historian. And there's a communication guide. And there's, that's multidisciplinary. Let's talk about it in terms of one of the good examples is terrorism. Okay, you look at terrorism through a multidisciplinary committee, for example. You would have someone who specializes maybe in religious studies, something in economics, something in law enforcement, someone in political science. Did I say that? I don't know. But that's the multidisciplines. But at the end of the day, they're not tasked to integrate anything, to talk to each other. They're tasked to do their individual analysis and send it to maybe some certain body that's going to decide what to do with all that information. That's multidisciplinary, okay? Notice I named the disciplines instead of the occupations. That's going to come up a little later, okay? When we're talking about disciplinarity, we're talking about disciplines. I didn't say multi-occupational, so multidisciplinary. Now above that, we have interdisciplinary. Yay, that's us, right? The difference, integration. Remember that. Those of you remember that, keep it simple. Integration, we integrate. So the same committee that's looking at terrorism and that features religious studies, professional, law enforcement, political science, economics, all these things you could make case for that would go into that type of committee that looks at terrorism, whether domestic or otherwise. And the task of the interdisciplinary committee is for them to work together to do what we do, to find common languages, to find out where the languages aren't common and why the same term in two different disciplines means something different. That's interdisciplinary. So we do, they integrate. That's the difference between them, between this one and this one, okay? They can look the same, but what they're tasked to do or how we understand it is different. Same with you. You could have a double major. Maybe I double major. I got history and economics. Great. But if you're interdisciplinarian with concentrations in history and mathematics or economics, you're doing it different. You're going to start integrating those things. So it's a subtle but important difference, okay? Now, you look at the top of the chain, you got transdisciplinary. From the word trans, meaning goes beyond, okay? Goes beyond. So you're going beyond the disciplines. Now, how would that differ in terms of this example? It would be like the committee that we talked about with these people on who specialize in religious studies, political science, law enforcement, um, economics, et cetera, et cetera. Here's where we can throw one. Let's go with business leaders, okay? Church leaders, business leaders, parents, local store owners, whatever. Notice the difference. The ones I just talked to about are not part of a discipline. Just because you're a pastor in a community church doesn't mean you're a religious studies academic, right? Just because you are a business owner, local retail, whatever, doesn't mean you're an economics or business major, right? So it goes beyond the disciplines that represent other areas like parents or, community leaders of certain types that don't necessarily represent disciplines. It's an important distinction. Okay, that's on the pyramid. Why? Because when you get into your discussion, boy, I just gave it away, didn't I? And by we're running nice and long. Oh, the first Easter egg. You guys are like, when's he going to do this Easter egg thing? I'm driving me crazy. All right. So let's go. The first Easter egg is integration. Okay, because I really want you to remember that. All right. First Easter egg, integration. All right. Okay. So looking at the discussion board now, the types of disciplinarity. You're going to read the instructions. I'm not going to read them to you, but you're going to say, you're going to hear a lot of things I just repeated to you, and how I have in bold that discipline is not a profession, occupation. Tell me the discipline before you get into the occupation. Then use the occupation. Okay. But just because it's a police officer doesn't mean he knows, he's not into criminology and law sciences. Okay. Just because it's a U.S. House of Representatives doesn't mean he's a political science expert, right? He just be the community leader that was elected, right? Think about that. Okay. So you're going to do this. You're going to differentiate between all these things. Intradisciplinary, which is one. That's intradisciplinary. Okay. Cross-disciplinary was one looking through another one. Okay. Multidisciplinary, multiple but separate. Interdisciplinary. Okay. Multiple but integrative. And transdisciplinary, goes beyond the disciplines. Okay. Now, your plan of study, that's the next big assignment there. It's going to be worth 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Plan of study is not that difficult, but it's going to require you to go and look at your DARS, right? You know what your DARS is. I can't remember what it stands for again. Blah, blah, blah. It's DARS, okay? So print out your DARS, or, you don't have to waste paper. So hit it in. You can save it as a PDF, whatever. Review it for accuracy. Fix anything, okay? List out the most important courses you've taken and briefly discuss each of these courses. Remember, most important courses to you, okay? Not to me, not to what I think I want to know. What were your most important courses? Define important when you define the class. Because if you say my most important class was Bob Marley, music, and sociology, well, on the surface, it could be because I thought it was just a ride. I love his music, whatever. But no, it could be it was important because it really connected music to culture and the response of revolutionary type music, things like that. Tell me why. Okay. Put together a semester plan that states what courses you'll take when your degree is completed. And then number 4, discuss why you've chosen these courses. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to grade for depth, of course. Doesn't have to be extremely long, but I want to have a little depth here. Okay. Show me that you care about your own academic journey, right? Because that's what this is about. This is introspective. It's hard to get this stuff wrong. There's plenty coming that you can get wrong. You can get a lot of people are going to get the disciplines wrong. A lot of them, okay? Because they're going to come at me and they didn't read the book, they didn't buy the book, they didn't view the video, they didn't read the readouts. They're just going to guess. Trust me, I've seen it, okay? You guys that are watching this, you'll know intradisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary until I'm blue in the face. Okay. Second Easter egg is I shouldn't make a 2 with my fingers and people just fast forward till we see the 2, right? So let me just stall a little bit. No, your second Easter egg is pyramid, because I want you to remember that pyramid, that hierarchy, that how that thought process goes. Now that could just be I don't know what it is, but it's a pyramid. I just don't like to add importance because interdisciplinary might be important in a certain area, but transdisciplinary or cross-disciplinary may be most important. It depends what the subject is, what the topic is, what the endeavor is, right? Okay, so, oh, and then by the way, if you look at the approaches, I thought this was kind of important too. But after what I just discussed, you'll note that this just intradisciplinary is right here, discipline to the problem, right? Cross-disciplinary is the discipline. There's another discipline you're looking at to the problem. Remember, I said looking at music through the concept of math and whatever you are, I guess. Okay. So, and here you got multidisciplinary. There's different disciplines reporting the same thing, but there's nothing going on here between. Whereas here, interdisciplinary, see the arrows back and forth, interdisciplinary, integrative, transdisciplinary. Phew, it's like there is no real map for the disciplines as much as there is a map that it's problem focused. Okay. So that's an important distinction there too. All right. So, okay, good. We got that. Now let's go back to, I think that's it for module 2. Again, I want to emphasize, get a hold of me if you're struggling with anything, okay? I had my friend and my niece look at my video last time, and they said I said or something, okay too much. I don't know. I know what I say too much. I'm not an idiot. I've watched this stuff. I do it in one take, and I probably say all right a lot. I used to go like this or something, click a lot. I don't do that. Like as if you want to hear this. You're like, give me the 30 string, get out of here. Okay, so I think that's it. Get your weekend started. When you start getting feedback through your assignments and things, be sure to get a hold of me if you question something. I always like getting pushback. Come on, let's go, bring it. No, I'm fine. Okay, we can discuss any of my logic, and I make mistakes. Trust me. I mean, I was doing the syllabus quiz, and it's 10 points. When I put a 10 in the place, it kind of it remembers all the grades I put in. I start with 1-0, and so it had like some of them I'd give them 107 points on their syllabus quiz. They'd be like, yes, extra credit. No, I made a mistake. I fixed it. Okay, so. Good. You guys, third Easter egg, don't make a 3 with your fingers. Let them find it themselves. All right, third Easter egg is, I got to go random here. Let's just say Arizona. Okay? I'm here. I'm stuck here, but there's worse places to be, right? So, okay, you guys, have a great weekend. This will post on Monday morning, so I hope you did have a good weekend. All right. I am out of here. All right. Forks up. Peace. Have a good one.